Hello, everybody, and welcome once more to Noble, a platform that connects people through stories. Today, I have a very special guest in the show. I have a friend of mine, someone that I've seen grow from one stage to another, or I've heard his stories, and he's a very impactful young man of our generation. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Sam Budoi. Sam, welcome to the show.
Thank you, and thank you for having me today.
Right. Yeah. So, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit of what do you do in life.
All right. Well, my name is Samuel Budoi, and of course, currently working at the Global Peace Foundation as a program officer, for peace building and youth. So, and also besides that, I do my own, stuff. I also have my own NGO, which during the COVID-19 we used to do a lot, but currently we had to stop a lot of engagements so that we strategize on the best way and the best approach. Also we have a small academy. It's in the midst of Runda, which we have a slum called Gidogoro. So where we nurture, quality education, through the kids, that are there. So briefly, and we also run a tours and travel company. I believe that working with most young people, especially in Kenya, they just want to have fun. So when I used to take them around to Kampala, back then, Dar es Salaam, so I identify that as an opportunity to make sure that I mobilize resources to run the organization, the NGO.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're a jack of all trades. I remember one time we went to Namanga. Yeah, I mean, it was a great opportunity for me to network with young people, dance as we travel. So that was a good thing to, a good area to identify for young people.
Absolutely.
So now, I know you talked about currently working at Global Peace Foundation. Yeah, it speaks of the dynamism. Young people are always on the move. So you're not saying permanently I am working. No, it's on the move. But we shall revisit that.
Absolutely.
So you're one person I know that education is something really close to you. And when you tell me you have a small academy, it's called the Brilliant
Angels Academy.
Angels Academy. That is in the heart of Runda.
Yes.
Or Gidogoro.
Yes.
Yeah, in Kenya, every high-end estate has its own slum somewhere.
Absolutely.
So why is education really something so close to you? Because my interactions with you, I always notice that education is something really close to your heart.
Thank you so much, Andreas. I think for me, education is so deep, and it means a lot to me. Number one, because of my dad is a retired head teacher.
All right.
So you had no option but rather to focus on your education.
Yes.
Coming from not per se a big family, but at least we are six. We have 6 siblings in our family, so it's been a struggle also, pursuing through the education. But at least also the struggle of my parents, just making sure all the kids access quality education. By then, what quality means in Kenya.
Yes.
But at least you just get the basics and pursue yourself into tertiary. So back then I started, in the village. And then, of course, my mother was able to get a job somewhere in Naivasha, so we had to relocate with my mother. And of course, my dad was the other side of the village, that's somewhere in Samia, Busia County. So we relocated with my mom in Naivasha. I went to, a primary school called Mvuke Primary.
In Naivasha?
Naivasha.
All right.
It's just within Kengen. I don't know if you know that area. So that's where I started, But through then, I realized I had leadership. I don't know, it's a DNA from my dad. I just don't know, because also my dad has been into leadership, back then in the village, So, I've been a prefect, doing all those stuffs, in school.
Yes.
Then I had to come back again to the village, because my mother, I think their contract had come to an end.
Yes.
So I had to move to the village again, continued so I went to Mudiaori Primary School.
Ah, right.
So it was called the MAPS.
Yes.
Yeah, MAPS, Mudiaori Primary School.
Primary School.
Yeah.
Wow, MAPS.
So it's the former vice president, during the late Kibaki reign.
Era,
So yeah, so I was the assistant head boy at Mudiaori. Then I was selected to be the head boy. You know, I was a very thorough guy. You know, most students never liked me, by the way, because I used to. I really wanted. You know, most of them will say, "Hey, Budoi, you used to cane us." But at times when I sit back and I regret, I was like, "What was I doing really? That was not leadership." You know, yeah. So because we are very thorough and wanted things to move, but if you go back to the history of that school, you realize there's a lot happened during my period, you know, during my time.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, I passed, and you know, I think they called me in some funny high school, but you know, my dad was like, you know what, you're not going that far, so there's a village high school, you go to Sgalame.
Yeah.
You know,
and you know,
so,
mostly parents don't say this because they really mean it. Sometimes it's because the finances.
The finances, absolutely, you're right. So I had to move to Sigalame, and I started my Form 1, I think, back in 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2010, that's when I started my high school. So, you know, I started gradually Form 2, Form 3 there.
Yeah.
I became notorious. You know, not notorious in, you know, drugs or not. No, I was never involved in drugs, though I knew students who were involved in drugs.
Yeah.
But, you know, for me, you know, we started getting into letter writing, auto books, you know, you're sending to your sister to school. And I now was the chairman, you know. And now it came so bad when I also started interfering, you know, connecting even the top students, you know, into this issue. So it got me a lot of expel and going back and forth to school, bringing my parents. It got a time where my parent almost gave up on me.
Oh.
You know, they said, next time you're coming back because of this, you just better stay at home.
Yes.
You know, he'll buy you some cows and take care of them. So I sat down and said, you know what, this is, I need to rethink.
Yes.
And then now, based on that, I had to repeat Form 3.
Oh.
Yeah. So I saw my classmates wakitoka the 2013 you know, period. So I had to stay, and then I finished my high school in 2014.
Yeah.
I never got good grades to take me to the university, of course, but you know, through
You're not the A
exactly,
student.
yeah, I'm not. By the way, to be honest with me, I was not that bright, and I'm still not that bright, you know, student.
No, man, right now you've accumulated enough. You're bright,
Yeah, well,
you know.
brights will come to discuss with this, so that we tell people what the brightness means when you're getting out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I said, well, I got at least the grade that I got for me to pursue my undergrad. So I said, that's fine.
Yes.
So they called me to East African University, and of course Moi, to pursue my, I think, criminology and criminal justice.
Yes.
But I said, you know what, even the money itself is not there. You know, so there's a center just next to my village. I went there and started working in M-Pesa. You know, so I worked, they give me like around 4,000
per month.
Yeah, 4,000 per month. That was a lot of money.
That's good money.
That's good money. And then I used to stay in one bedroom, which I was paying 3,000. So I used to sustain myself with 1,000 bob. And still, for me, it was a lot of money.
That was ambitious. You're earning 4,000 and then you're paying rent 3,000.
3,000. So one bedroom.
You must have a loved life as well, you know.
Yeah, well, it was pretty good. So by then, I now even getting to the city was difficult.
Yes.
You know, you have your brothers this side, and also them accepting you to join them was a hassle.
Yeah.
So you really had to find something to convince them that you are coming over.
Sure.
You know, so yeah, I have my bigger brother, you know. So one of my former students in high school called me, say, hey, but there's this job. You know, he said, oh, in the city, yes. I said, oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
You know, so I called my brother and said, you know what, brother, there's a friend of mine who's called me for a job. He said, you plan and come. You know, you come, we stay where I am. I said, fine. Then I had to prepare, now shift the things that I have in my center, take them to the village where my mom was and parents. So I had to come. You know, what you can carry from Western is a sack of maize and, you know, maybe a little of your luggages and what have you.
Your few
exactly. Yeah. So I had to carry like a small bag with a sack of maize. That one is very important. You better forgo the clothes and even the nini, but that one is. So I went. Yeah. I was near in the city. So the only thing I was told, you wait for me at archives. You know, so archives or maybe Afia Center.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, when you get lost in town, that's the only way you can go. You say, even if you are at Odeon and you're going to Nairobi University, you'll have to go the way to Afia Center to get clear direction so that you say, he's Tomboya Street.
Yes.
So, well, that was me. So, yeah, so my brother was working by then as a security guard in Runda. He has just relocated actually from Huruma, you know, so we had nothing. So that's when also my passion for Githogoro came through.
Wow.
So we were staying there with my brother.
Yes.
And by then I remember it used to rain, you know, so he left me over. He came actually, he had to literally to leave work to come and pick me in town.
Wow.
You know, so he had to actually to cycle, you know.
He had the black
exactly,
Mamba?
yeah. So he had to come all the way to town, you know, to pick me and show me where to stay that night.
Wow.
You know, so yeah, I came and I think we had even no bed, nothing, because all of his belonging were still in Huruma, where my uncle was staying. And actually, my uncle was called that night to come and pick me. Unfortunately, he never did.
All right.
Yeah, so my brother came. He
so
left
this is Githogoro.
No, this is Githogoro. Yeah, that's where I started my life.
Yes.
This is now in 2015. Yes, 2014 I left high school.
Yes.
A little bit hustling in the village. Yes. Now coming back 2015 in town.
So what was the job? Your friend had called you for a job?
Now that's the front. I had to call the friend the following day.
Yes.
You know, I had to sleep on that same sack of maize that I came with. You know,
the sack of maize
exactly
the mattress.
Yeah, mattress.
Oh boy.
So then the sad thing that he trained, and now literally we are floating.
Oh.
You know, so I had, you know, it was crazy. Yeah. So the following day I called my friend. Luckily, or let me say unluckily, he never picked my call.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, my brother came. Now, you know, his shift is at night. So have you called your friend? The guy is not picking my call.
Wow.
You know, he said, don't worry, give him time. I called in the evening, the guy is not picking. The following day, not picking. So he said, you know what, you can't go back to the village. So the solution is for you to get into this estate, which is Runda, and find any job for you.
Wow.
So you had to go literally with my brother, knock doors, you know, and just see if I can get any work. So
like you just knock the door.
Yeah, you just get the gates, you know, the security comes and like, how can I help you? Sorry, unfortunately, there are no jobs here. Or my boss is not even around. You know, most of the people living that area is that work in the UN, etc. So we got some construction, you know, work that is we call Mujengo, which
in Runda?
In Runda, you know. So I tried, you know, I tried, but telling you, I had to run away, you know, lunchtime.
Oh my God!
Because it was crazy, and I said, you know, this is my first time doing this.
Yes.
You know, so I never went back. So then I came. The following day I went. It
was too heavy for you.
It was too.
How old were you?
By then I think I was 21 or something. 21 or 20.
Man enough, but anyway, it was tough.
I was around 20. I was around 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so. Yeah, I tried. The following day, I got a you know, gardening work.
Yes.
So there's a lady who used to work with I think she still works with the UN Habitat.
Wow.
Yeah. So you know, it's also they just give you how they feel. You know, it's like 1,000 bob or 500 per day, and you're not coming every day. So you're coming like twice a week.
So taking care of the
lawns. Yeah, just checking on the lawns and sweeping, and that's it. Maybe wash his car or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went well for few months or few years. I think it was roughly 1 year, and then I had to relocate to now the guy from UNEP.
Yeah.
Still in Runda, still gardening. So from there, that's when at least but all the time I used to do that. It used to inspire me, the way the kids are, you know, they're having fun, the good schools they're going, you know, the meals they're taking, and I'm like, this is the kind of life I want for myself.
Taking some of the meals sometimes when
it was not easy, unless you carry your unga and try to prepare it, maybe, but it was not.
Like a kitchen. For
yeah. So so I had to leave the Nigerian lady. I had to go to Swift. I think it was a Senegalese. So yeah, I worked there. It's also the same thing. Just you wipe flowers, you know, the leaves.
You wipe the leaves?
You wipe all the leaves. If it's this tree and it's a flower, so you have to wipe literally. So it was not easy, but
you don't sprinkle water and then it washes everything.
No, you wipe
every leaf.
Yes. The cabro, the whatever, the mazeras were there. So now there's this guy with one of the fundis who was coming to repair I think the cabro.
Yes.
Then he told me, I think he contracted me to help him work, you know, do the work.
Yes.
Then at the end of the week, he gave me like around 5,000. So I think that's where I used to actually get out. You know, I said, you know what, I know motorbike. and there's a cousin of mine who is doing courier work. So I went to a driving school and I did my driving license. I got my driving license for motorbike. That's it. And then the guy connected me to the courier. So at least I started earning 15,000. That was a lot of money.
That's a huge
so from there I said, you know what, this is 15,000, and at least I'm flexible. I can come with a motorbike at home back in Gidogoro. Fix it. Yeah, of course. Now you are a guy of Muta. No guys know you are like, hey, Sam. Yeah.
This is your motorbike.
At least this is my motorbike. So at least they know.
Motorbike.
You can take them round. They feel like part of you.
All right.
Yeah. So I started that work. I think in somewhere in 2016. Yeah. So that's at least I saw that is my
services.
Exactly.
Was it through calls?
Just phone calls. I used to work at it's called I think Big Square around Gigiri. Yes. So it was they gave me somewhere close to where I stay. So Gigiri, you take somebody order from Runda, you take. So that's when I used to know all those meandering roads.
So people would order food.
People will order food online. So you deliver food to them.
Which year was this?
This is 2016 now.
2016. I've always thought that. The food apps and all that is a new thing. I didn't know it started a long time. I thought COVID brought it.
But this thing just came, the app thing came. This was now like a manual. Okay. They are contracting a farm to do delivery. So like Big Square contracts our farm to do delivery on their behalf. So then it came so many Jumia, all those apps. Yeah, so that was for me was a breakthrough, getting that job. And of course I thought now of getting to school.
Yes.
Yeah, so I applied. Exactly. I started thinking of school. That was one thing that came into my mind.
Were you ever disturbed all this time you're working for the Nigerian, wiping flower leaves and all that? Were you ever having the desire that this is not the life I want, and to get it, maybe I need to go to school? Yeah.
Just like I had mentioned, I used to admire their life.
All right.
I used to admire the cars they're driving, and I literally, sometimes I would sit down and literally cry. I just wipe my tears and I say, you know what, God, get me up and let me continue serving, and you know what you really want for me.
And you had the belief that
I
if
had
I
the
go
belief,
to school,
exactly, I'd definitely be like them.
All right.
Yeah, so I applied to Nairobi University because now I started working. I wanted to apply as an evening student. So by the time I leave my shift, at least can join evening classes from 5 p.m.
Yes.
So I applied. I never knew if they were going to call me. So I knew University of Nairobi, they need maybe A's or whatever. So I just tried. I said, let me try.
Yes.
I applied. It took almost a year. So I received the calling letter. So by then when I received, I said, okay, this last salary might not be okay for me. And also the company that I'm working for, it is not all that known. So I cannot even apply for help as a salaried student.
Yes.
So I applied a job at Art Cafe. Art Cafe. So by then it used to be, those are the most, expensive, some of the expensive restaurants.
So what kind of
still
motorbike,
riding. That's the only entry I can do anyway.
Because you had the bike.
Exactly, and I had experience. So they quickly took me because they had like massive recruitment by then. Yeah. So we were the first team, doing deliveries for Art Cafe. Yeah, and I from 15,000 I went to 21,000. So that was big for me. It was news. The village elders were so happy.
You're staying in Gidogoro?
Gidogoro, still Gidogoro. But now when I moved now to, because I shifted now village market at Cafe. Now I had to leave Gidogoro and now go to Ruaka.
Okay.
Yeah, because at least niliona nimepanda cheo kidogo and I had to at least appreciate myself in a bed sitter.
You thank yourself.
Yeah, thank myself in a bed sitter and not continue punishing myself.
Yes.
Because at times I tell young people, it's not that you live in maybe slums like Kibra or Gidogoro, you think you are going to save. You need to allow your mind to think like that somebody who is living in Runda.
Yes.
So but immediately you confine yourself to that kind of setup, you are not going to grow.
It's called the grasshopper mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that. I applied. I started now my evening classes. I'll leave I start my shift in the morning. I break in the afternoon. I had to go to Nairobi campus, main campus.
You parking your bike in campus?
You rush somewhere in town, you get parking, you get into class.
You didn't want to try and maybe park your
No, I used at times to park, but those soldiers, they look at you and like, you know, we are not allowing motorbikes in here. And I'm like, I'm a student.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So I had to literally, it was a hassle. So I had to find somewhere in town, those parking, just park somewhere, and then in the evening I take my motorbike and go. Yeah, so I went in, that is in 2016, I started in September at UON, pursuing my undergrad Bachelor of Arts, double majoring in Armed Conflict and Peace Studies and Political Science.
Yes.
You know, so in the same class, that's where I met and started networking with a number of young people.
Yes.
You know, it's the evening class where you meet different scholars, people who are working in the government, you know, but now by then I used to see that I'm the only one who is flexible. I'm the only one who is flexible. So when they asked about who is going to be like the class rep, I said, oh, give it to me, because I think I'm exactly and by then I used to leave, work early, I get there, I talk to the lecturer, I see what, so guys were relying on me. You know, so guys saw how committed I was like, hey, this is the right guy. You know, so I had also to join the Nairobi University Peace Student Association, which later I was the chair. You know, so that's when I started coordinating work from 2017, 2018. You remember taking guys to Kampala.
I remember seeing you in the
exactly, mobilizing. By then I used to, if you see the way I used to put on, it was rugged clothes, and I said, no, this is not my kind of branding. So I got my designer, and I had to start, you know, upgrading.
Your designer?
Yeah, my designer. Man. Yeah.
Get it.
So I made my network, so that's how my journey of education was. It was not easy.
Yes.
You know, even the transition and paying for myself, I had to apply for help to literally pay for a few, you know, of my courses, units.
Wow. What a journey.
Which really helped me a lot. So now remember, there's this gentleman that I connected with. He's from Garissa. He's a well-known businessman right now. So he asked me if I can get him somebody to assist him doing work. You know, remember the same guy who told me to come from the village?
Yes.
I'm the same guy I connected to the job.
Oh.
And right now that guy was a manager. That guy was, you know, he bought even a car.
Did you settle your scores like, bro, you let me down?
I don't hold grudges. That's the good thing with me again. I don't know if it's good thing with me, but I really don't remember. Though I cannot forget. Yes. But it doesn't harm to always just tell them, guy, whatever you did was wrong, but I don't have anything. So basically that was my, and then I had to graduate in 2021. Yes. And I started my internship at Global Peace Foundation in 2018, 2019, small years, gradually leave now the courier thing. Yes. You know, and they absorbed me as their program officer, and right now I'm here.
Yes, we'll get to GPF.
Yes, GPF, absolutely.
I've always wanted to know, why did you start Brilliant Angels at Githogoro? Because, you know, I know that's your foundation, that's your base, that's where you started. And now, why there? Yes.
I think basically it's because of the situation that I used to see myself. You know, you saw things that were not good enough. You know, you saw the academic, you know, these students even acquiring education was not easy for some parents back there. So you look at them very busy. They have to wake up very in the morning, go to Runda to work for their bosses. You know, some of them are soldiers, security, some of them as maybe maybe just people taking care of the home, or maybe gardeners. So it was not easy. So the inspiration also came from my brother, who used to connect so well with the kids. You know, so the youth, apart from his job during the whatever, the evening job as a security, he used to teach in one of the local schools there. So the kids used to love him. They used to call him coaches, you know, blah blah blah. So I said, well, so the guy, and back even for academic, I got my first loan from my mom. From, I think she got me a loan from the Kenya, I think, Women Finance Trust. So it was 50,000, which I started with.
I remember when it started, the Kenya Women Finance Trust, when it started, it was big.
Exactly.
It was like trying to help so many women.
So my mom took that. I think that's the loan, the only loan I took from my mom to pursue my academics in the university. So going back to Githogoro, so that's how we started. So we also, my brother had to take some loan also for my mom, and we set up like a small class. You know, it's a mabati kind of iron sheet structure. So we took, you're taking two rooms. And then by then it was in 2018, we had only, I think, 37 pupils. 37 by
so
then.
yours was to provide solution because
we were to provide solution.
Yes, you're looking at the parents.
Exactly, and the challenges they are going through.
Facing just to access
exactly
the
education.
Yeah.
So what you have done right now, kids started flowing into our school, and now for me, with the networks that I had created, I want to now to transform the education and the system through what they're going through.
Yes.
I had to link up now with the international schools that are around. Now these kids can able to go to Regis Runda, which has adopted our school.
Yes.
And right now we are 260 kids as we speak.
Yeah.
They go there, they're trained on skating, swimming,
yes.
they're also horse riding.
Yeah.
At times the teachers from Regis Runda, they're coming to teach them through virtual.
Yes.
They're having projectors and so it's kind of a unique experience to them.
Yes.
And also even the food, we realize getting food by then it was a hassle from them. So we have gotten a support from food banking.
Yes.
They bring food every day.
That is Regis
kids.
School?
Yeah, no. It's a separate organization that does food banking to schools.
Yes.
So they bring food, almost every day, to sustain our kids. By the time a kid is able to get some food, even they go back home, I think it's okay from them. Then gradually that's how we started the Brilliant Angel School.
So how does that make you feel that the one goal of setting up a school and solving the problem, the challenge that these people are facing in life, like the slum kids at Gidogoro. Now you're seeing a success in partnership with international schools like Regis is there. So how does that make you feel now?
It makes me feel so good, and at least this was the vision for my dad. Him being a retired head teacher, he was so passionate about school.
Yes.
And now us, like his kids, adopting it and taking it over, it feels like we are continuing with his legacy. He's so happy right now, having impacted such number of young kids in that area. So and as for me also, I feel so good because this is the kind of thing I've also been going through. But what can I do to be a change maker so that it's not the same thing to that one person, that kid who is really struggling?
Wow.
Yeah.
So your brother still teaches at the school?
Of course, yes, he's one of the directors and the founders. So partially, but he has other jobs that he's doing. So we have employed people to do that.
Okay. Did you ever teach at some point, maybe at the beginning?
No, for me, honestly, I will lie. I've not even thought of being a teacher.
You're not born a teacher?
No, I'm not born a teacher. But I think it's natural in our family.
Yes.
Where you realize, even without even the education background, that you've been into teaching or something.
Yes.
We realize just come out automatically, and we're able to gather information and get the right materials and just teach these learners.
Wow.
But now we are now moving into bringing experts, young people who have TSC, just also to raise their, whatever opportunities, through that structure that we have. Yeah.
So on a very different note, you are one of the longest serving staff at Global Peace Foundation.
Yeah.
And quite young, I know your relationship with your boss.
Yeah.
This is somebody who you worked for as an intern.
Yeah.
They saw your work ethic or whatever they saw in you and said, you can come and work here. And now you've served Global Peace for quite some time. Many young people don't stay in jobs, or rather creating that, building those relationships, creating rapport with the boss that makes them grow professionally. Because I believe you've developed a lot of skills as you work at Global Peace.
Yes.
And met the right people, the contacts that you've made. So how can young people be ready for the job and ensure that even if they're gonna move on, remember I was talking about young people being dynamic and always on the move. How can young people, make use of relationships and develop the right work ethics to stay somewhere or stay in a workplace for a long time? What has been the trick for you? Because I know your boss speaks so highly of you.
Yeah, thank you. I think for me it's being genuinely with yourself, with what you do, passionately love what you do. As we speak, even for my boss, is somebody that we were in the same class, political science class, and he could literally see my work even back then in the university. I usually tell every young person, immediately you step into the university, that is your first job experience. You know, other than that, if you wait to finish your 4th year and start sending us find attached, you're never going to find. With the current situation right now, it's not easy. So immediately you step into the university, that's your first job experience. And how do you do that? You get into the association just the way I did. And it's you through our sharing our personal story that some of the young people feel challenged, and they say, you know, I can also do this. So you get into an association. Like for me, I joined the University of Nairobi Peace Student Association. Then use that association while you're still in the university to build trust within outside institutions or any organizations or companies. You know, just passionately volunteer your time with them. Build that rapport with them. You tell them, by the way, I'm an engineer or I'm an architect. You know, I just want to use my skills, and of course, working with you. I'm usually free on Wednesday. Can I be given a dedicated desk where I can just compare my skills and whatever that is in the field, so that at least I can learn? I tell you, if you do that consecutively for 2 years, by the time you graduate, if these people will be looking for somebody to employ, they will not even think out. Definitely they will come to you and say, we have worked with you, you'll be somebody, we are really looking to support you, but this is a chance for you. You know, so that's what I do. Build that trust, be somebody who is honest, be very creative, innovative, come up with new ideas for them, you know, what you're using and what your professors is taking you, and then I'm using them now on the ground to build that relationship. By the time you finish, that's a knock for you.
So university is not just a place of, you know, you just and let's say going to class, coming out, but you're saying it's much more an opportunity for you to join associations and know how to work with people.
There are schools association, like the University of Nairobi Peace Student Association, really helped me to nurture my skills and meet the right people in the ground. I met Global Peace Foundation, and I used to coordinate now peace students to join Global Peace Foundation work, even outside the country, you know, and that was a challenge. And these students would literally pay, because I used to mobilize, and they pay more than 15,000 just to attend some conferences. So the boss saw that no, Budoi, come and revive our youth program, you know, because we are doing a lot with the young people in the university. So look at that. I don't have a CV, I've not built, he's never even asked me for a CV, but he has believed in what you do. You know, not the decorated CV you send and you think people will go. No, right now it's very different.
My first encounter with you was in 2018. On our way to Kampala. For the Global Peace Leadership Conference. I remember. So this was you as the head of Students Association, because we came from the Global Peace side, and I was meant to know that you are university students, University of Nairobi. So
by
were they the peace students?
Yes, those were purely peace students. But of course, some sociology, psychology students also joined us. But purely it was meant for peace students. Actually, if you saw our t-shirts, the blue t-shirts, they were University of Nairobi peace students. So and then by then we went there, and we went there. I told them, go and network. We managed to, you know, meet Eugene Wamalwa, who was by then devolution cabinet secretary. So we struck a deal, and by the time we came back, our team was able to secure an appointment with him. And basically for us was just to see what can we do for devolution. Can we be helping distribution of food relief? You know, so that's what we wanted to strike. But then we sat down from after the conference. What can we do? Are we finishing university and start begging for jobs? We said no. Let's come up with our own organization. So that's when I started the NGO. So thinking of that idea. So we wanted to basically employ ourselves and think of those ideas while we were still at the university. So we started that organization in 2018. So that is the mother of founders of all the, you know, tours and travel, everything. You know, we started a peace and cultural fruit and salad in town, and we were doing a lot of those, so many other things.
So I don't want to end this show before I talk about the President's Fellowship. It's one of the programs. I came through the program. By then we were simply called Global Peace County Ambassadors. And I was representing Sayre County by then. But I realized you are the lead of the entire program. Now it has been rebranded to the President's Fellowship. So why do you think we need such kind of fellowships, and what is the objective of the President's Fellowship?
I think for me, joining Global Peace and even being told to revive the youth program, it took me almost 2 years just to rethink, what can I do for the young people? What is this that I can do to recognize and appreciate their work on the ground? You know, so quickly I thought of the word peace, and now the counties are now the fellows, you know, who are doing amazing work within. At times you sit down and you look at the amazing work, you say, what am I doing here in the city? You know, with all these opportunities that I have, and them even with zero coin, they are doing a lot, you know, matters of gender-based violence, you know, FGM, etc., all those. So you look at and you identify a tool that can recognize them, reconnect them with potential partners, you know, that can also maybe potentially support their work moving forward. So that's when I came. So for us, we were thinking of just recognizing them. But I said, no, we can do more of this. How can we come up with content that can train them to be moral and innovative leaders, just as GPF does, you know, in other countries. So we started creating content. Number one, we thought it was very necessary as global peace to train them on matters of conflict resolution, peace building, all those, you know, so that at least they acquaint themselves with tools for them to help even the village elders, the chiefs, and etc. on resolving some disputes. And then number two, on leadership, the qualities of leadership, governance, you know. So all those are the components. And then, of course, environment, which is one of our key pillars at Global Peace Foundation, running the Million Tree together with our patron, Dr. Manu Chandari. And then, of course, now entrepreneurship. We want to innovate them, give them ideas how they can start their own, incubate their own business idea, and of course generate income out of it so that they can sustain themselves, sustain their project. So those are the main components, the four main components that we train them. So it's used to call the Global Peace Council Ambassador, but now our headquarters, so we have so many organizations have misused the name ambassador. So how can we come up with a different name? So we call it the President's Fellow. So that this one acts as a pilot where we can potentially uplift the good work of young people. They now also embrace one of our chapters in Uganda, Tanzania, and of course Nigeria. You know, so that we are trying to tell the presidents, not only the president of the country, but also even the president of organizations, you know, to come and, you know, recognize and to train the next generation of young leaders. You know, so that's how the dream came from, and now it has impacted so many young people. Some are into Senate, some are now working in big organizations, some have received scholarships to study outside, some through our recommendation are working with the county governments.
I know you've worked with Manu Chandari. You just mentioned him. How is it working with him?
Wow,
I know he's someone whose name is all over.
Surprisingly, the way that Dr. Chandari hold on to me and the trust he has in me on matters of environment, I usually thank him so much, and also he has opened for me so many other doors. Right now, if I want to communicate to any company, mention any company, even if I want to access any CEO, the name of that my mentor, I call him my mentor, keeps popping up, and guys will really take you very serious. Even if you have nothing, guys will just take you very serious. And you'll go there, strike your deal, and done.
Can we use that to get sponsorship for Nobe?
If you can convince him that you can, there are things you can do, then why not? He usually likes supporting young people.
Okay, it's a great opportunity. Sam, I'm so pleased that you spared your time to be here today. So maybe on very light issues, if today you are asked to choose between dancing and singing, which one do you go with?
I love singing.
So you'd rather sing?
I rather sing, and I think I also have a voice. But then, before I never mentioned this, I used to be not a music student, but I used to participate in music in high school. You know, I'll train. I'll actually sing all voices from tenor 1 to bass 2. So between dancing and singing, you sing? I think singing is okay for me.
What's your favorite meal? I know chicken, but any other?
I think I'm a vegetarian mostly. I love vegetables. You love vegetables?
But you're not a vegetarian?
No, I'm not a vegetarian, but I love vegetables. I love anything green.
Wow. That was nice. So, guys, that was Sam Budoi. I think I mentioned Sam at the beginning of Nobe. Maybe one day we get there and talk about why I mentioned him. So Sam, it was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Welcome once more to the show.
Thank you.
This is a platform that connects people through such stories. And it was really amazing to have you hear your story.
Thank you. And just to mention, I received a full scholarship. I'm supposed to be pursuing my master's in at Binghamton State University in New York from next month.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can look at my journey, and I really love
Wow.
people to know my story and
Yes.
inspire them, so that at least for them, they feel like they can also do something for
So
themselves.
next month you're flying out of the country.
I'm
so
off
going
already.
to
I have
see
my
your
visa,
masters.
and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hope we'll do a conference, teleconference.
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
when you're there.
Absolutely.
We share experience.
Absolutely.
Get us new people for Nobe Show.
Yeah. Yeah. My actually going there is, of course, studies, but building more international networks now.
Wow.
I think in Kenya right now, I can access any office, you know, through the network that I've established. So
Yes.
now I want to see how I can establish my international networks as well, and
Really
now connect
inspiring.
them now with our country and see how we can transform our country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sam Budoi once again. Thank you so much for for your continuous support and watching the show. Always remember to subscribe and share. Thank you.
Thank you.